All right. If you're doing wood turning for the West Island Woodturners, you're going to do all sorts of fancy stuff, make things nice and sweet and neat and clean. But if you're doing something that you're going to give to Aunt May or sell at the local fair, what you need to do is make something that looks okay, is not perfectly polished on the inside, but you can prove to people that it's hollow, and that's a key element of doing this. The first thing I'm going to show you is a very basic how to make it round. Obviously it's going to be round in two directions. If you want to make a ball, basically you take the radius like that and mark the radius on this surface. And, oh, that's good. I can't see it. Make your line long enough that you can actually see it. There you go. Then, that gives you the center line for your ball. But if you notice, I'm awful damn close to this chuck. So, all right. Expensive tool J. Rough turning this, basically what you need to do Now the reason I'm using a carbide tool is this stuff is really hard on tools. It's almost more glue than it is wood. And this thing's going to be in my way. Now obviously you don't have to cut too much near the center. Obviously you can tell this is not going to be a perfect ball. And it doesn't have to be. It's a Christmas ornament. If you're making billiard balls, you have to make it perfect. All right, that's as far as I'm going to push that. The next step, if you're going to make a hollow ball, you've got to dig a hole in it. And all right. So this is a 7/8 bit. How far does this thing go? Really? That's cool. Probably that.
All right. You go right through your sphere?
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
The reason I said 7/8, there's one that's done to the point that essentially where we are now, except this one's been hollowed. This is a jig. Very expensive one. I'm going to sell it on eBay. And basically, that allows you to finish it. Yeah, just chuck it in reverse. So now, we need to do a little hollowing. Oh yeah, we're getting deep. I mark this with this marker here, where roughly it's going to be cut off here. Okay, I don't want to go too much deeper than that, because then this wall here will get extremely thin. So, now, these tools generally have to be kept right, yeah, okay, be kept right at level, right on midline, for them to work properly. And you're right, I need to take that off of there.
You want some help?
Hmm?
You want me to help you?
No. If we can find a chuck, we'll be fine.
It should just unscrew it.
You mean take the whole thing off?
Yeah, unscrew it
From
from the,
here?
yeah, just back it
Keep
on.
going.
Okay, all right.
For now.
All right, that does the job. Okay. Hollowing time. I find that the best method is to go as deep as possible and come back out. And I'm using the square cutter because at this point I just want to get as much material out of there as I can. At home, I have a can of air that helps me clean this out. Here, I don't have anything. Okay, I'm about here somewhere. The thing wants to fight you. And I think what I'm going to do is put the rest a little bit closer.
What is the speed? What is the speed?
I don't know. No idea. How do you read this? The inner line?
You were probably in the middle, check inside if it's the center strap.
How's that come up?
Oh, check.
No, it's
Okay,
okay.
it's okay. It's probably in the center strap, which means you look at the middle dial.
800, 900? Not terribly fast. It's not scaring me, so it's okay. If it scares me, then it's going too fast. Good. Now, I can bore you by doing that for the next half hour, but basically you don't need to watch me do that. So let's step on a little bit. And before I do, one other thing. When I do that, when I hollow it out or hog it out, the way I like to call it, I then have this little guy, and I use that to smooth the inside. You don't really have to. If you get it thin enough, people can hear the piece moving around, or the jingle bells. I bought some dollar store jingle bells. They go in there very nicely. Before you glue everything up, you put the little bells in. This one takes a lighter cut. And you use it with just a bit of an angle on it. Instead of going straight in like this, you just put a touch of an angle. If you go in straight like that, it has a tendency to really grab. So if you've got an angle on it, it's not quite as aggressive. Okay. Take this one out. I don't know what it feels like. I don't feel too bad. You want to pass it around? Now, obviously, the reason you're hollowing this out is not so much for the design, or it's just to make it lighter. This stuff's really heavy, and if you don't hollow it out, obviously you put it on a Christmas tree, it's gonna sag. Now, how's that gonna look? Not bad. I don't want to touch that up, yeah. Okay, this one I did the other day at home. And it might be a bit thick here. So I'll do a little bit on it, and then I'll part it off. All right, parking time. All right. Now you notice I'm not worried too much about sanding it right now, because I do have that truck to put it onto, so I can sand it. This is a double bevel scraping tool. I'm sure you're all familiar with it. There we go. Not too bad. All right. So. Yeah, that's not going to work, is it?
Oh, you have the smaller chuck there?
Yeah, I do. No, this one's not going to work. All right. I'm not going to finish this. I'll pass this one around. A little thick at this end, but not too much. Yeah, I'm going to change chucks because I'm going to start doing the, how do you lock this thing?
Here's the, that little lever pin.
All right.
Okay. Then you just pull back up.
That's the way.
Hold on, yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
Because you're in a pack position.
Yeah. Don't forget to unlock it otherwise.
Unlock it now, please.
Yeah, I did.
Thank you.
That one would hold that, wouldn't it?
Hmm?
This jaw would hold
I hope so. I'm not the only one having trouble. All right. Actually, you know exactly what I'm going to do with that. Is basically I'm going to sand that thing,
Oh,
clean the ends on it.
do you want it back?
Yeah, I guess I better take it back.
Okay.
Where it's rough here, now I can clean it up. Best investment. So. Okay, obviously we use this for sanding. You can tell I'm used to this lathe, right?
Dennis,
I know what.
just a quick reminder, when you lock in, you don't have to.
I don't, okay. All right, that is essentially the main piece that you need to make. The next thing you need to make is a finial and the other end. So I'll take a whack at doing that, which could get very interesting because I normally have blanks that are already made for this. That's going to drop over there. Pulse.
Do you want me to tighten that up for you, or?
No, I'm gonna put a center.
Okay. It's, sometimes good to lock the thing, then you only have to use one bar.
Oh. Okay. Works better if that's locked. Okay. I'm not used to lathes that are less than 40 years old. Mine, you have to hammer it to keep it big. Okay. Now,
Yeah,
That's it,
yeah.
that's it.
clear. That was not good.
There's that other piece there.
Okay, okay.
Dennis, if you take the cone off, there should be a little small
Yeah,
center underneath.
yeah, here.
Well, I really don't need to put any pressure on it, I just need to
No,
keep it
the
from bouncing.
content
Cone's not made
If
for
you
that.
tighten it, the content split this.
Yes, I
This
know
one has
that.
a stop, like, but it's small now, so.
Yeah, I really don't want to,
Okay.
If you wanna put more pressure on
I want to put any pressure on it.
the jaws, would you like to put more pressure on the jaws?
No, I think I'll try not to catch.
If you,
That was the basic problem here. You realize that?
what's that?
I said, I tried not to catch it this time.
Yeah. Where's the, where's the bar there? Yeah, you just need one, see? And,
We use two.
huh?
We use two. Yeah, we do.
See, like that, you can put a lot of pressure because
Okay.
it's locked in, you know?
Makes sense.
Yeah, so it should stay better. Although it's not dead center then.
It's all right. It's all right. We're used to adapting. This is a piece of cherry, so it's fairly fragile. I prefer to use maple. I have made them from blackwood, but blackwood is so hard that you end up fighting the tool more than you do making anything. Right. Now let's keep on playing with this one. Now, if I was doing this to a finish, this would be a good time to stop, sand it, and put on a finish. Just on this little bit at the end. And I'm not going to do that here tonight. Getting there. The trick is with these things is to make the line smooth. And it looks like you know what you're doing. And don't break it. All right, get there. Close enough for government work. Now, this is where you get in trouble. You say that's not perfect. Oh my goodness. Still not perfect. And I don't have enough sandpaper here to make it perfect. Do you know that we had a president of the Woodturners Club whose main skill was roughing things out and then sanding it perfect? I kid you not. Actually, the guy was pretty good at it. He brought in these nice bowls and we said, "How the hell did you make that?" Well, he says, "I started with 85 grit." I honestly can't remember his name. He was president, I think, a year after me. All right, now, that's just a little finial. perfect, but it's not bad. So, I already made a point of using a 7/8 drill bit. So therefore, the rabbet I need on here has to be 7/8. So to do that, we'll go in here. Now, one of the things you have to do is do a slight undercut. But when I say slight, I don't mean as slight as that. It was almost a disaster. Yeah, we're good. All right, so now just clean that up a little bit. Once again, living dangerously. Now, well, let's do a little bit of the same. I want to show you all my tool marks. Let it go away.
And for the novice turners, the tool rest should be pulled away, Dennis.
Yeah, I guess. I don't think of these things anymore. You're absolutely right.
That's right.
Well,
But it's normally the old guys that walk around like that. No, I joke about that. Yeah.
short one finger. What the heck? I'll tell you one thing. One of the biggest safety concerns that I see is do not ever come close to a lathe with a piece of cloth. That's why they make paper towels. They make them just for turners, especially applying finishes. Doesn't matter what your wife says or your significant other, paper towels have a real place in the shop. I learned that one the hard way. Fortunately, I kept my fingers. So.
You wrapped around.
Hmm?
You wrapped around.
Yeah. So, I've now got a rabbit on here. It will fit in. Right. There it is.
Not finished. I'll make the top. Yeah, no.
It's very close. Way too close, to be honest with you. But that's one side. Okay, the other end. Let's see the best way to do this.
The tenon goes in how much, Dennis?
Just enough to glue it. Just enough to glue it.
Pick up the center.
Yeah.
Take it.
Yeah, just run some glue around it and just sit on it. I'm lucky enough that I have I have a hole in my bench. It's just perfect for putting things like that. Okay, so the top. I'm just going to get rid of a lot of wood here. Oh, look at those treatments. Looks like I knew what I was doing. Amazing. All right. Basically, keep it simple. Just dress the top a little bit. Okay. The same drill. Do it when you cut. A little bit more. None of these dimensions are critical. As long as it covers the whole up, you got space to do it, you should be okay. Okay. Clean up. Now, I didn't bring any glue, so we're not going to see the flannel. Okay. We need a place to put the eye in, to hang it up with. So, Very nice. Another expensive tool. It fits the eyes that I have. And I have a commission to do 10 of these things before the end of November. So. All right. Start it off. Oops. There it is. And there it is. That's it. Questions? Questions?
Yeah. Did you use a spade bit to do the initial hollowing?
Pardon me?
You used a spade bit to do the initial hollowing instead of a Forstner bit?
Yeah, you could use, what's a spade bit?
Yeah. Is there any pros or cons to it? Because usually I think Forstner would be stronger. have to last
Well, with this wood,
Yeah.
the spade bit works great. If it was hard maple, I would probably take it a lot easier and use a Forstner bit. It's just a question of what the material can handle, and this stuff just falls apart with the spade bit. Any others?
Is that Russian ply?
Yeah. Yep.
The good stuff.
And there's a good source for it too.
It's very economical.
Very economical. Actually, my daughter works in a factory where they use this stuff. And part of their design is that they cut out discs. So last year I said, give me the discs. So she gave me a whole box that were all roughly about that big around. So it's just easy to glue them up. The only thing is that if this was sanded carefully and a little bit of finish on it, the wood has chatoyance, is that the word? Chatoyance. It shines. And because it's plywood, you can, if you glue it up properly, you can get it so that the chatoyance shows up in a spiral, and it looks very good. The other thing is that what I've been using to color them, I don't know, there's a guy here who convinced me to go to the dollar store often. This stuff. And basically, it's the cheapest you can buy. And I mix it about maybe 5 to 1 with water, wash it on, let it dry, sand it, and maybe you need a second coat, maybe you don't. But it just gives a bit of a tint, and that's all you really need.
I use half and half with alcohol.
Okay.
And water. It tends to penetrate better into the.
Oh, that's a thought. Okay. Good. I will try that. Any more questions?
Your finial, do you always do the same or you change?
Okay, there's one design that I've seen and I want to try it. Okay? Basically, what you do is you make 2 halves. All right? And you hollow them out separately, just like the bowl or the hollow bowl that you made here. But you do it roughly this size, and you make it so that you can join them in the middle with a piece of matching wood that is just a ring. And you glue the 3 pieces together, and then if you're really enthusiastic, you can pierce it. And then you have a Christmas decoration that is hollow, is maybe that big, with a flat section around it. All right? And you still do the same thing with the finials and the top.
Variation.
Yeah, just variation. The other thing is they don't have to be round. A pear shape is good. They look good. I have not tried to do one that looks like half a banana. I haven't tried that. But the pear shape looks pretty good. And again, you don't have to make them perfectly round because they're going to be hanging on a Christmas tree. And the people you're going to sell them to are going to be wowed by the fact that they're colored and they're hollow. And oh, they're made of wood. Okay, thank you.
Very nice.